Welcome to the Longbox Paradox, episode 18. This week we're going to be starting out with DC Comics, Batman Who Laughs #4 by Scott Snyder and Jock. This continue on where the last one left off, where Alfred walks in and Batman has his version of the Batman Who Laughs eye cowl shield. In this, Alfred kind of confronts Bruce, and he takes it off, and we show that Batman's eyes are turning red and kind of getting the crazed look. And in it, he discusses how the Batman Who Laughs is able to see. And in it, the cowl, the horns or spikes on it, it's made from the Dark Universe metal, and enables him to see with it on, and kind of channels it to see how people think, thoughts, emotions. Kind of weird because I don't understand why this Joker gas would allow him to start turning into this. Really weird. Batman and Alfred actually get into a bit of a fight. Batman gets snapped back into not being this Batman Who Laughs type character that he's turning into. Grim Knight and Batman Who Laughs are talking to the imprisoned Jim Gordon. Batman Who Laughs talks about the Jim Gordon from his world, what happened to him, and how Joker had burned his nose off, and that he never really had anything to do with him very much. While Grim Knight talks about how, the Gordon of his world brought the world down around him, and he basically wants him to suffer and misbehave. James Gordon is helping Batman kind of figure things out. In it, Batman also has a run-in with the Joker, or it's a flashback to him, and basically telling the Joker, he won't be able to kill himself, so if the Joker would promise to end him, and they have this little laugh, cross my heart, hope to die, because the Joker has this big X mark on his chest from where he stabbed himself. Grim Knight ends up releasing Jim Gordon and has the Batman Who Laughs little demonic robins there to hunt him. And Batman crosses into one of the other worlds where there's another Bruce Wayne, and he ends up running into a hologrammed Batman Who Laughs who sets him up. I dig that they actually explain exactly how the Batman Who Laughs could see with that freaking thing on his head. Again, the power part kind of is weird. I kind of thought, though, that this was one of the more solid issues front to back of the run so far. I'm waiting for it to be done. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Dark Knight Metals, and the fact that this metal story just keeps going on and continuing. I'm lukewarm on it so far. I want to love it because the Batman Who Laughs is such a creepy character, but at the same time, I was really, by the end of Metal, not interested in having any more of the Metal storyline. It happened, it was over, and yet this Metal stuff just keeps coming back. I'm a huge Snyder fan too, and I love Jock, and this, and again, I said this I thought was one of the more solid issues back to front, but it still kind of felt like a C for the entire storyline for me so far. I'm hoping for it to ramp up. I think there's 2 issues more. What I will give credit for this book for, though, is the B cover by Care Andrews is incredible. It is a great cover. Actually, I kind of like most of the covers that have those little demonic robins. So yeah, it was okay. I didn't love it. I want more out of this, and I think part of the problem is I love Snyder's work, and I have such high expectations a lot that the fact I'm not 100% hooked so far is kind of making me nervous. I think by the end of the run, it will pick up and we'll get I'm hoping, a good finish. So to keep it on with the Batman books, this is a weird week that 3 Batman books came out on the same week. I will not be reviewing the newest Batman issue, even though Tom King didn't write it. It just seems silly, and I just didn't want to spend my money on it. So Detective Comics 1001 came out, and as we saw in issue 1000 at the end, we were kind of introduced to the Arkham Knight. So this issue starts out with showing little cameos here and there of the Arkham Knight. You don't see him, what he looks like. You also see his knights, that the theme seems to be that they're in the sun. Jim Gordon is at a park in one of the cuts, and you see all these dead bats everywhere. And then in the Batcave, there's tons of dead bats as Batman and Gordon are talking. So Batman goes to see Francine Langstrom, who she's saying that she's hearing this screeching, this screaming, and the only way that she could do something about it was turning into the man bat or she bat or whatever it is. So Batman's trying to talk her out of shooting herself up, and she shoots herself up with it and goes through a ride through the city on her. And like one of the art scenes, it shows like there's blood coming out of her ears, but they're flying around the city, destroying stuff, and end up going through. Batman manages to turn her back into it, and finally we end up with all these knights, or the Sun Knights, or I forget what they call themselves. They're wearing this makeshift armor. Batman's weapons are bouncing off of it. They seem to be particularly prepared for him. By the end of this fight, we finally see the full Arkham Knight. So knowing that his weapons are bouncing off the armor, you know it's someone who knows something about Batman. I'm curious sort of now who it might be, because my original thought of who it was might have changed now because the weird night theme, and it seems like a little bit of weird theology cult going on. It almost felt like this Brotherhood of St. Dumas kind of thing. I'm kind of hoping it's not that, but either way, this issue, parts of it I really liked, parts I didn't. It was a B-C for me. It is just building up to what's going to happen. From what I read, issue 1004 is going to be the revelation of who it is, and it's kind of following that pattern. Like, by the time that the under the red hood, by the 4th or 5th issue, they fully revealed that it was Jason Todd. So it's one of those kind of deals where I don't see it being like earth-shattering reveal. I imagine by the 2nd or 3rd part, we'll have a hint of who it might be, because of course, this person's gonna have to tip their hand, show their hand of like who they are. Again, Detective, since Tomasi's returned, I've enjoyed it. It's been good. So I'm willing to see this through. I just thought, as far as things go, it wasn't as good as some of the past issues have been, but all in all, not bad. We'll see where this goes. I'm hoping it's not going to be a dumb reveal when they get to it, or just someone no one cares about, that they're just like, oh, how about this person? So with that being said, I'm still going to recommend buying Detective. Batman Who Laughs, though, I'm still in between like buy the issue or trade wait. So now we're going to move on to one of my favorite books from Image Comics. Low number 21 came out. And this one, it's another slow burn issue where they're kind of taking you through what's been going on in this city that's actually above ground, where the people who weren't able to fled from when basically the sun made it uninhabitable, their bodies have changed, they've kind of mutated, and they're calling themselves Neo-Sapiens. So there is a class going through, it almost looks like a animal habitat, if you will, and it's like a field trip, and Stel and Zem are shown there, and the class is going by and they're talking about them, and they have like derogatory terms for the people who lived under the sea. Um, it fills in a couple of blanks. Stell and Zem have become lovers, and Stell is kind of poked and prodded and, being examined by the doctor, Jay. And we find out that her cancer is completely gone, her radiation poisoning and everything. And her and Zem have been hooking up, and she is now pregnant, which I'm sure her daughters are going to be totally cool with. So they talk more, and I guess they've caught below sea people before and had them reproduce. And I believe they said in one of them that the child drowned himself. We learn that they have these rules, like kind of propaganda stuff. Very interesting. And then by the end, we're shown the guy in the helm suit from the last issue, which I just read it, and I cannot remember the character's name now. He is readying his army, and they're going to invade Salus and destroy it. So, which probably put them on the collision course to run into Della and the helm suit that they have down there, which a helm suit on a helm suit battle is going to be freaking awesome when they get to it. Like always, Takachini's art blended with Remender's writing are fantastic. And if you're not reading it, please do. Again, this issue was a slow burn, build-up issue. This series has a habit of slow burn and then just long distance running for a bit and then slow down, long distance running. It is nearing the end of the series, so that's depressing for me. But at the same time, I do like the fact that there is a beginning, there is a middle, there is an end, and it's not going to just keep going on interminably, just trying to make stuff up as they go. Buy the book, buy the trades if you haven't read it. It's fantastic, and I don't think you'll regret reading it, but you just be warned that there will be slow parts in it, but they're completely necessary and carry the story, especially big character moments. And moving on once again to the Mighty Marvel. You might have heard they have a movie coming out soon, so Avengers Fever will be coming. I am going to address something also with this book in particular, because Marvel put out an ungodly amount of Symbiote Spiderman offshoot books this week with Cult of Carnage, Symbiote Spiderman. There was another Venom book, and I've liked the Donny Cates run on Venom, but like one hit doesn't make you need to like spin off this many freaking books. It's not that interesting of a character. Like Carnage is kind of one note, Venom is one note, although like with this history of the symbiotes that Cates brought in, like it suddenly becomes a little bit more of a complex story. This is an interesting book for a bit because Peter David's writing, and I kind of dig that he's back on Spider-Man for a bit. He's got Greg Land with him in art, and this book takes place during these moments in like untold stories of when Peter had the symbiote suit, when he was still learning what it was. And this first book focuses on Mysterio, and Mysterio is trying to, make himself a big bad, kind of like he doesn't feel he gets the respect. And we have some old school Felicia Hardy back when her and Peter were dating. A couple Aunt May moments. Mysterio kills somebody, and he starts to feel bad. The symbiote suit, Peter, chases him down, kind of beats the crap out of him, and then Mysterio has this turn of like, okay, that's it, I'm in for good, like let's get it on. The art was decent. Story-wise, it's that weird thing where you're doing stories in between stories, but retconning at the same time. The book was okay. I think I'm on symbiote burnout, though. where they're just flooding the market with this crap again. Like, I don't understand why Marvel has this habit of, okay, people are digging this, let's triple and quadruple down on it and just burn people out. Like, just get one good thing, maybe one extra book. But good God, like 3 symbiote books the same week? I'm not digging it. This book though, I'm gonna give it a C. It's middle of the pack. It's fine. It's okay. It's not a story that's going to move you anyway. Some decent art. What I will say that was the pickup for me is I'm a Gwen Stacy fan, and I really dug the Art Germ B cover for this, or was it the A cover? There's an Art Germ cover of Gwen Stacy, and it was striking. It caught my eye on the shelf, so I had to pick it up. Other than that, like, it just kind of didn't move my needle either way for this book. It could have been better, and I should have spent my money on something else. But again, Art Germ cover, that usually wins. And that's all I really managed to get through this week so far. I am backlogged pretty heavy on my reading still, and I had a couple other books I was looking at possibly reviewing. Another book that I did see that the cover was striking also is Conan, Age of Bullet. I think it was Age of Conan Bullet. Anyway, it's about the Pirate Queen. There was another cover by Sana Takeda, who does Monstrous, and very beautiful cover. I really enjoyed the art on it. Unfortunately, the interior is nothing like the cover, so that's a little bit of a downer. Story's okay, though. I'm also kind of weirdly been liking Avengers No Road Home, because the weird Scarlet Witch Conan team-up has been kind of interesting, and I kind of want to see where it goes, because I know that Savage Avengers book is coming out at some point, and I'm really curious to see it. So with that, I'm going to move on from another New Comic Book Day, even though you're probably going to see this day after New Comic Book Day. Happy hunting, happy reading. I also, my friend Gambit and I did a very, very, very long video of the Avengers Marvel Cinematic Universe so far. It's an hour and 45 minutes, 21 movies we went over, just kind of talking about what we liked and what we didn't like. It's on my channel. Go check it out if you're interested. I'm hoping for a very good week of books next week. I forget what's coming out. I have my pull list. So with that, like, subscribe, comment, share. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. Peace.